My next guest is an intuitive mindset coach who helps people pleaser take back their power and cultivate confidence through alignment with purpose. Please welcome Danielle Longo. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Danielle. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so thrilled to be here.
I'm so excited too. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And I cannot wait to dive into your story and who you are. So let's go ahead and share with us who you are, what you do, who you help. Give us the full picture.
Totally. So I am an intuitive mindset coach. I actually wear a couple of different hats. So I guess entrepreneur is the more appropriate title because I'm an intuitive mindset coach for adults. And I also teach music and movement classes to toddlers. So everything I do is about helping people at whatever age feel better physically, mentally, emotionally. My goal across all my businesses is to just promote that overall well-being. So with adults, I take that into specifically the mindset realm and help people create a better mindset. Yeah.
What made you go into the mindset space, the personal growth space? You must have a story behind all of it.
Girl, I got such a long story for you. It's dangerous asking me my story. Never do that if you're in line at the grocery store. We'll be here all day. But yes, so I started out my career after, well, actually I'll back up even further. In college, I was pre-med. And I really wanted to become a doctor. I think intuitively I've known my whole life that my purpose and my calling is to help people heal in some way and feel better. So I thought that was physically at first being a doctor. And then literally my life path was just like, no, girl, you're wrong, because I was rejected from med school twice, 2 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
So literally the universe was screaming at me like, no, boo, this isn't it. You did not figure it out quite yet. So I was like, okay, reroute. I took a different approach to helping people heal and feel better and feel healthier. So I tried being a personal trainer, which I did for about 2 years, 2 to 3 years before I realized that the part of personal training that I was enjoying most was the overall mindset transition that was happening with my clients as we worked together, on the surface to create a fitness program. But really, what's happening behind the scenes, we all know as we work on a fitness journey, anyone who's been through one, there's really so much mental change and growth happening beneath that surface. So I realized through that that's really what I was enjoying doing as a personal trainer. So I took another stab at finding my perfect career, and I went and worked at an eating disorder recovery center. It was a 24-hour facility where people live there who need full-time support. And so I did that for a time, which was amazing. I absolutely loved lending support as much as I can, being there one-on-one with these people. It was the closest I've gotten when working with someone else, for someone else, to doing what I want to do. But unfortunately, like a ton of social service jobs, it didn't pay enough to make my bills. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I finally gained all the skills I needed. I finally figured out what I want to do, because I probably should have mentioned I have a bachelor's in science in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience. So I probably should have known all along that mental health and mindset reframing was going to be my true calling and passion in life. But anyway, so I reached this point in my career, was like, all right, I figured out what I want to do. I'm just not making the money to do it. And so I was like, all right, we're going to create our own job. We're going to make our own business, and we're going to give people exactly the help that I know people will really benefit from. And so that's how I got to where I am now.
Wow. Like, oh my gosh, this is like so amazing. Like, you've been through so many like curves, bumps,
Girl,
roads.
it has been a journey. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
But you must be so proud of everything as well. Like, not everyone has that spark, that fire in them to say, no, like, this is not it. Like, I'm pivoting, I'm doing something else. So, yeah, you should be very proud of yourself.
Totally. Thank you. And I appreciate that. I definitely, the whole med school rejection is 100% what taught me how to pivot
Hmm.
and change directions and not let it get you down, because that was a bruise to my ego for sure. So, yeah, that alone was such an amazing experience to learn from, for sure.
Yes. So let's talk about the psychology, spirituality aspect of everything. Because I
Yes.
know this is something that really passionate, like, it's your passion. You're passionate about it. Like, I can see
Totally.
like the spark in your eye when you talk about it. So tell us
Totally.
more about how we can really tap into our psychology, our spirituality even more, even deeper, and help us elevate our businesses even more.
First, just becoming the observer of your own thoughts is, I just feel it should 100% be the first step in any journey, especially a business journey, which is actually, people ask me often how I got into my
Hmm.
spirituality. And yes, I started meditating in college here and there, but really it was creating my own business that made me really dive deeper into both spirituality and really studying my own brain and how it works, because we all know when you're forming a business, self-efficacy and confidence is 100% the game. If you don't believe in yourself,
Hmm.
you're going to go back to working a 9 to 5 tomorrow. It's certainly easier.
Hmm.
We all know that. So so that unwavering belief in self has to be there, I believe, for building your own business. And it's impossible to have that 100% of the time. It really is. We're all human. Beyonce has to have a day every once in a while where she's not feeling herself. Like, we all, like, come on, everyone's got a PMSing day where the hormones are not right, and you're just like, God, like, I'm not like, no, it's not my day. So one, building up this self-esteem, this self-efficacy, this belief in yourself, and really becoming observant of your mind so that you can create brain patterns that work for you, but then also allowing yourself to recognize there will be days where that's not there, and you're not feeling 100% your most boss babe self. And rather than just like pretending they're not going to come up, like, let's prepare for them.
Mm.
Let's say, okay, I know
Hmm.
28 days this month, I'm probably going to feel great, and I have all my self-belief tools, and I have all my affirmations written on my mirror, and I feel great. But let's prepare for those 2 or 3 days a month where we're not going to feel it. Let's not just pretend they're not going to be there. Let's give ourselves the tools to pick ourselves back up when we do get there. Let's not deny it. We're going to get there. So let's just help ourselves. So, and that's where the spirituality really comes in handy. And I think forming a deeper connection with your intuition is so vital during those 2 to 3 days a month when you're not feeling it
Mm.
right. Becoming the observer of your thoughts and learning about yourself. So much of spirituality is just noticing what happens inside you, and the key is never judging what
Mm.
comes up, right? Just observing our brains. How does my brain work? What causes it to think this chain of thoughts? And then that's when we can start, cutting a link in the chain and deciding to reroute those thoughts. So I think becoming the observer of your thoughts is the answer to both, yeah, improving your business and becoming more powerful in yourself.
Wow.
I think it's so important to let people know that I have a very, like, my brain is naturally a really not nice place. And I think a
Mm.
lot of people are afraid to admit that. But it's ironic because people are constantly asking me, like, how are you so cheerful all the time? How are you so positive? How do you have this confidence? How do you love yourself so much? Like, all this stuff. And it's because I have come through such a dark, deep past. I mean, the reason I wanted to work in an eating disorders recovery center was because I came from an eating disorder myself. And so that's itself evidence. You can see how deep and dark of a place my mind was in at that point in my life. The reason I feel passionately about this is it's really important to recognize that you are not your thoughts. You do not have to identify with them. And if you were born with a brain that happens to think really not so nicely about yourself, one, it's not your fault. Release the blame, and then allow yourself to just start making it the brain you'd like to have. It's kind of like, you were given a hand-me-down car from your parents and you're like, well, I don't want this one. I want a nicer one. Like, all right, well, drive the crappy car for a while, save up money and buy yourself the new one. It's like, all right, well, we don't have to blame ourselves for the brain we were given or for the way it works. But if we just become familiar with it, when you start to understand and observe how it works, then we can turn it into the Lamborghini of our dreams.
Wow. I love this so much. You are so amazing. Oh my gosh. Like, I have no words.
Well, don't worry, because apparently I've got them all.
I love that. I love that. So, oh my gosh, like everything you've just shared is so huge for women in business, right? Because we go through lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of like everything happens at once. Then this happens. Then it's like so much growth happens when you're a business owner. So, like, how do you relate all of that to business, and how has it helped you in your own business? And like, what was the biggest challenge you've overcome thanks to that different perspective and working on your thoughts?
It's just you've got to have that self-confidence, because of course, there's waves in business as there is with life, and you've got to just carry yourself through it. So I think for me, probably going into the pandemic is when this has really shown itself and really come into use for me. At the beginning of the pandemic, it would have been so easy to say, well, it's too hard to be self-employed now. I need to just go back to work. But like you said, I was just like, nope, you know what? I'm scrappy. I could come up with a new idea, and I pivoted both my businesses. I took some of my kids' classes online, and I teach some of them virtually now. So just because of that belief in myself, that's what gave me the mental space to even invite that pivot into my business, right? Because if at the start of the pandemic, my mindset had just been, well, I'm entirely dependent on kids being at daycares, and well, now it's ruined and I can't, then I would have just shut down, gone back to work. But it was that belief I had built in myself through all these previous years of my business, realizing that, I am the strength here and I am value where I bring it. And that's what, like I said, it gives me that mental space. That's what opened up the door to say, okay, Danielle, you can do this. Think of a different way to bring business to you. Think of a different way that you can bring this value to people. So I think that's the power of all this, right? Is yes, it changes how you're speaking to yourself, and it changes how you feel on the inside, but our belief in ourselves changes everything about how we ask for what we want, how we talk to other people, both personally and very importantly, professionally, how we appear when we show up, doing a cold call at a new business or something terrifying like that. It really affects how you show up. And so not only does this change your internal landscape, it changes your external landscape. And as a business owner, it really just, it can change your income.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. So, growing up, did you imagine you'd be where you are today?
Oh, definitely not. Oh, no. I actually, so like I said, I wanted to be a doctor for the longest time. And it makes me so happy to look back on that now, honestly, because like I said, that was a really low point for me, getting rejected twice from med school. I mean, my mom's a teacher, and I was always an A+ student. My sister an A+ student. We were always honor students, did the AP classes. It was just like, that was part of my identity, was being the best student in the class. And so being rejected twice, it was just a really, really hard time in my life. So now it's just like, it's kind of like the cherry on top to look back and be like, girl, you weren't that lost. Like, you were close. I was hearing my intuition saying you're going to help heal people and help people feel better. But I just like kind of missed the mark a little bit. And so that's a really fun thing to look back at, and realize that even though I had no idea where I was going, had no idea I would end up here, yeah, I was definitely listening to my intuition along the way, because, you know, then I went from, right, doing I wanted to be a doctor, then I wanted to be a personal trainer, then I worked at the eating disorder place, and I slowly ate those little breadcrumbs and followed the trail until I figured out what I wanted to do. So yeah, definitely didn't think I'd be here, but the path getting here was extremely unexpected and exciting.
Yes, I love it. I love it so much. So I ask this to everyone who comes on the podcast, and I'm really curious to know your answer. What does being a powerful leader mean to you?
Oof. Believing in yourself and then sharing that with the world, you know, really discovering your authentic self and then just sharing it without fear whatsoever. Because we lead by example, of course. And so, you know, if you can show up and share your light with the world, it's amazing when you are showing up, sharing your passions. Like you said, when I talk about this stuff, my eyeballs light up. When I talk to someone whose eyeballs light up, that's, you know, it's so contagious. We know what it feels like to listen to someone speak like that. So if we were all out here living our passion, working our passion, you know, speaking with stars in our eyeballs, imagine what a world it would be if everyone was just sharing their gifts with each other. Wow, what a powerful dreamland. That's what I'm out here trying to build.
Yes, I have the same vision, girl. Like, we're on the same wavelength.
Totally. Everyone just stay in your zone of genius and we'll all share that with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there any last piece of wisdom you'd like to share with the audience today?
To summarize, my biggest thing always is to know that you are not your thoughts. You do not have to identify with them, and you have the power to change them at any point you like. That's my biggest message overall. But I would also like to leave your listeners with a small gift, because I'm so grateful you let me come on and chat with you today. Like you said, I believe it's super important to, one, become the observer of your thoughts, and to become more in touch with your own intuitive guidance as an entrepreneur. Because as I shared, it was a huge part of my own journey in finding out exactly my dream client and career and business here. So I do have a mini course on how to become more in touch with your intuition. I teach the different types of spiritual guidance you can receive. If you're not receiving any, I teach you how to troubleshoot that and become in touch with your guidance. And also, I have a small practice where you can learn the exact name of your personal guardian angel so that you can start communicating with them more powerfully. So they can find that on my website, which is dannylongo.com. And I'm going to give you the promo code POWERFUL, which will give you the course for free, because I think it would be super helpful to all of your listeners.
Oh my gosh, I'm going now and like signing up for this.
Yay, yes, please do. I would love as many people as possible to be hearing that intuitive guidance as clearly as they can.
Yes, I love it. So besides your website, is there anywhere else people can go and connect with you online?
If you go over to Instagram, I'm just at hello Danny Longo. So I would love to connect with people there.
Awesome. Well, go follow Dani. She's amazing. Her energy will contagiously tell you to keep moving forward and give you that energy you need. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your amazingness with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.